A man was playing with his son in the yard, when suddenly, they got caught in the crossfire of two gangs. Bullets rained down around them. The man immediately shielded his son with his body, but when the gunfire stopped and the gangs left, the man looked down and saw his son covered in blood, no longer breathing. The once happy family was torn apart in an instant. The man was furious. He immediately chased after the direction the gangs had gone. The two gangs were still shooting it out in the streets, until one side was completely defeated. The victorious gang began to drive off. Seeing this, the man didn't hesitate. He turned around, grabbed a metal rod, and waited in the path of their vehicle. However, this strike didn't end things. Instead, it enraged them. They started firing wildly at the man. He had no choice but to run for his life. Just then, a forklift appeared ahead. The man jumped, and their car was impaled by the forklift. The driver was killed instantly. Before the man could react, the gang leader caught up and shot him at point-blank range. The man couldn't move anymore. He could only watch in despair as the gang leader approached. Without hesitation, the leader shot him again. By some miracle, the man survived, but the bullet had shattered his vocal cords. He could no longer speak. After a long recovery, the man was finally discharged from the hospital. He looked at the place where he once played joyfully with his son. It all seemed to have frozen in time, like yesterday, but when he thought about how his son was no longer there, a wave of pain overwhelmed him, and he sank into an endless darkness. Every day, he lay in his son's bed, as if his son were still there. But when he woke up, his son was gone. One day, he took out his son's bicycle. The day his son was killed, he had been teaching him to ride it. Thinking about his son's death, he couldn't help but blame those damn gangs. He decided he would get revenge and make them pay for his son's death. He watched videos online, learning how to kill. Then, he went to a shooting range to improve his aim. Next, he used gym equipment to build his body. Once he was ready, he snuck into the police station and took pictures of all the gang members. He was determined to take them all down, one by one, to avenge his beloved son. That night, the man sneaked into a gang leader's house. The leader heard the noise and came out to investigate, but was knocked unconscious by a blow from the man's gun. Quickly, the man dragged him back to his house. He cut the ropes binding him with a knife. Then, he forced the leader to sit at the table. The man grabbed paper and a pen and demanded the gang confess to all their crimes. The leader, enraged by the situation, fought back, but the man beat him badly. Thinking the leader would be more cooperative now, he was wrong. He managed to cut the ropes, then pulled out a knife and stabbed the man in the shoulder. Even though the man had been training for a year, he was still lacking compared to these battle-hardened gang members. But despite taking several stabs, he didn't give up. He used every ounce of his strength to wrestle with the leader. The man grabbed a screwdriver and shoved it into the leader's calf. Then, when the leader wasn't paying attention, the man got up, shoved him into the kitchen. Thinking of his innocent son's tragic death, the man was filled with power. After a brutal struggle, the man successfully subdued the gang leader, and this was only the beginning of his revenge.